Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Old Pods podcast. I'm Alan, this is Paul. So this week we'll continue on running through favourites that we have from different genres. Obviously we were planning originally to do a few different genres per episode, but that kind of went out the window when we started talking about action movies and it took us an hour. So this week we are going to do adventure movies. Should we do the same as we did last week and just go kind of one for one and
Yeah,
just
yeah. Let's
see where
let's
it
see
goes
where we
from
end up.
there? Go on then, I'll let you start this one because I started last week with the first one last week.
Well, I was gonna say, what would we define as an adventure movie?
I've got a
Because I've
couple
been
in.
pondering this.
Yeah, I've got a couple in my little list that I wrote out that kind of blur the lines a little bit.
Yeah. What would you define as an adventure movie?
Well, it's on my list, but it's not a surprise that I'll talk about it because I spoke about it a few weeks ago. Was one of my favorite movies is Goonies. Goonies I would class
Yeah,
as a classic adventure movie.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%, start to finish. Find a mystery, realize it's a treasure map, go after the treasure, go on an adventure, go on from A to B.
like a quest.
Yeah, going on a
Yeah.
quest, encountering all the shit on the way, overcoming the challenges they face as they go
Mm.
to get where they want to go, to get to the destination.
Yeah,
Adventure. Generally, I don't know why, I always associate adventure movies with like jungles. Do you know what I mean? Like being in the jungles.
yeah. Yeah. Exotic locations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like Indiana Jones is they're always in some kind of exotic location, aren't they? They're adventure movies,
They're
I
100%
think.
adventure
Yeah.
movies.
Um. Well, I'm not really sure where to start, to be honest. See, for me, for me, adventure movie, I would start at Willow every time because I think Willow's a banging adventure movie.
Yeah.
Um, but another one I was thinking about was Legend, which I've spoke about a fair bit already.
Oh, the Tom
With,
Cruise one.
with Tom Cruise, where he's a wee Ben.
Yeah. Isn't that like his first movie or something?
I don't know. It's certainly one of his
It must
first
be
ones.
early days because he's
Very
very
young in
young.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a wee lad. And another one, which doesn't get. I was gonna talk about this last week in action, but I think it might be more an adventure. Is one called The Rocketeer. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah.
The
That's a great
Rocketeer was
pull.
such a good movie,
Yeah.
and
Oh my
it
God.
never gets any attention. I don't know who
Yeah.
made it. It might have even been a Disney film. I'll have a quick.
Quite possibly, I think it is, mate. Yeah. That's a great shout. That's a great shout. I
It's
never
Disney.
thought of that at all.
Yeah, The Rocketeer was class. It was so like just the style of it and everything. It
Yeah,
was
it was
it
brilliant.
had such a sort of an individual at the time, like a really highly stylized look, and I don't think anything really looked like it around the time. Because I can't remember when was it out. 91. 91. I think a lot of stuff was like looking forward. Like sci-fi was really sort of like rocketing ahead. If you
Yeah,
pardon the
and it
pun.
was very much kind of like the World of Tomorrow
It
kind of
was like a
stylized, wasn't
50s.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was World War II, wasn't it? It was like a
Hmm.
Nazi
Yeah.
jetpack that they found,
Yeah, it was
and he
brilliant.
fixed it with some chewing gum.
I was going to say, I was just about to say it had a little like where a
Aye,
bullet had
had a
glanced off
leak.
it
Yeah, it had a
and it
leak
was
in the
leaking,
in the
so they
fuel
fixed it
tank.
with some chewing
Yeah,
gum. Yeah.
and he had that helmet. Like
A really cool
it
helmet.
was like it was like almost like a skull, and he had the fin on the back. They fit the fin on it because he couldn't steer without the
Yeah.
fin, and that was flying all over the place, and it was great. It was such a good movie.
I've
Um,
never watched that in the longest time. I'm going to go back and give that a watch because that
I've
was
not seen it
great.
in a while, but yeah, I was thinking
Who
about it last
stars in
week
it?
when we were
Who's in
talking
it?
about them kind of films. I don't know who was in it. I remember Timothy Dalton was the bad guy. Jennifer Connelly.
He was the. I mean, come on, that's a great movie. That
Billy Campbell
Billy
was the main
Campbell.
character. I don't know who Billy Campbell is. I don't know if I've seen him in anything else. I'm not really good with names.
He was in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah, I think he might have been the American Quincy with a big knife. Yeah, just looking at other ones now. Dick Tracy's there. You seen Dick Tracy?
Dick Tracy. Yeah.
That was a good film. Loads of prosthetic effects. I mean, it was
Yeah,
good.
lots of
It's
prosthetics.
probably a massive turkey, I imagine. It's got that
I don't
vibe.
remember much of it. I kind of
Had
remember seeing
Madonna
it.
in it. Warren
I can
Beatty.
remember the poster more than anything else.
Yeah, I loved it when I was a kid. We had it on video, and I loved it. I thought it was the faces, the gangsters all had like really crazy. There was like one called Flat Top, and he had like a really flat head.
Oh yeah, it was like
Tongue face was
Hammerhead from Spider-Man, wasn't he?
yeah, yeah. They look great. The all the prosthetics. But yeah, Rocketeer was a solid adventure movie for me
Yeah, 100%. That's a great pull.
because
That
it
that's
wasn't
excellent.
like,
I had it in my head as a
I
kid
mean, it did
that I
have
could build that jetpack.
oh, I think every kid
Yeah,
dreamed about having that jetpack. Like,
yeah. I think I drew it and like give like the drawing to my dad and said, "Make that." Like,
you're in the garage.
yeah, crack on. Put the
Yeah,
fuel in there, put a spark there, and we'll fly.
in the chewing gum on here, and it'll be
Yeah,
away. Yeah, because I was thinking about what makes an adventure movie, and I think it's for me, it's not so much exotic locations, but that's definitely helps. I think it's got to have a little bit of everything. Like you say, it's got to have a quest. It's
mm.
got to have A to B quest. Like we need to go here and do this, or find this, or kill this. Something like that.
Yeah,
But it can't be too heavy on one thing.
yeah, yeah.
Like not too much action because then it becomes an action movie,
Becomes an
and
action
not
movie.
too much romance because it becomes then becomes a romance movie. And it's got to have a bit of humor, but not all funny because then it's a comedy.
Yeah,
It's got to have just like a little touch of everything,
yeah.
a
It's
little
very
sprinkle
kind
of
of
everything around this main quest. Um, Dungeons and Dragons, that new one, being a perfect example of it.
fantastic example of
That
it.
was such a good film, and I don't know how well it did, or if I think it was quite well received because I remember the Dungeons and Dragons players were saying it's exactly like playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons,
Yeah,
like the chaotic sort of funny, like the daftness of it and the inventiveness of it. He said
I
it was
thought it was.
just like playing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely fantastic, that movie. Like, it was one of those ones that I thought, right, okay, they've made a Dungeons and Dragons movie. I'll not put
Mm,
much stock into it. And then put it on in like a quiet afternoon to watch,
mm.
and was completely enthralled all the way
Yeah.
through.
hmm
Yeah,
Yeah, I couldn't look away. Like it was great. It was just every scene was just gold. Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't fancy Chris Pine much in it, but he was brilliant.
It was brilliant.
Like
Yeah,
the all well. I mean, the whole cast they were all great. Um, yeah, but I didn't. I mean, I remember the old Dungeons and Dragons film. Do you remember it with Jeremy
film.
Irons?
No, don't
Yeah,
remember
it
that.
was. They made a film of it in like, oh god, it must have been. Let's have a quick look. Must have been 99, maybe 2000.
No, I would have seen that surely.
2000 it was made, and it had what's her name? So she was in American Beauty.
Dungeons and Dragons 2000.
That was dire. That was a dire film. That like
Oh yes, of course I
it was
have.
a
Yes,
it was a
I have seen
proper
that.
mess.
Yeah,
Laura Birch, that was her name. Yeah, she's from American Beauty.
yeah, because the young guy in it was Jimmy Olsen from the New Adventures of Superman, wasn't he?
What? Yeah, I was just looking at his face, and I was trying to think who he was. Yeah, you're right. It was
Yeah,
Jimmy.
it was Jimmy Olsen.
Oh, and his friend was a Wayans. I didn't know that. One of the Wayans brothers.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember that. It's been a long time. Like, and I tried to
Yeah, it's
wipe it
been a
from my
long
mind.
time. I'd completely
Um,
forgotten all about it.
Yeah, they made that. I think they even might have made a couple of sequels with it as well. But yeah, I remember that, and I was thinking, oh god, they're going to do another Dungeons and Dragons, and I thought it was going to be the Pits, but that new one was brilliant. That was a proper adventure movie,
Yeah.
just a
I'll
little
give you that.
sprinkle of everything
That was a
with
great
with
show.
a solid quest.
Yeah, I always get a bit disappointed about well, not disappointed about it because it was a great movie, but whenever I think of Dungeons and Dragons, I think about the cartoon that we
Mm.
grew up with.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like one from each kind of like there was the barbarian and the warrior and the
There was like
archer.
different
And there's,
classes. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and
different
the
classes. That's the
Invisible
word I
Girl
was
and
looking for. Yeah,
yeah,
because isn't there a scene in the Dungeons and Dragons movie, the new one, the good one?
yeah, they're all there. Yeah,
Yeah, where they run out and they're like it's
it's
them and
that
you can see
maze
them
thing,
run out
isn't it? That
in the
big block
maze.
maze,
Yeah,
and you find them in there. Yeah.
it was a great touch. Yeah,
Yeah, aye, yeah. I always wondered why they never made that, just that, like that cartoon, like that sort of
yeah, yeah. What was the bad
transported
guy
to
called in it?
Benjar,
What?
Benjar,
Venjo.
or
He was
Benja.
terrifying.
He's fucking horrifying. I was
Yeah,
just thinking that, yeah. He
he
scared the
was.
piss out of me when I was a
He
kid.
was. He was fucking for like a kid's cartoon in the 90s. He was menacing as fuck.
Yeah, is he like a demon or something?
Yeah, had one big massive horn on the side of his like helmet, didn't he? Like
I,
that.
never, I don't remember if that show ever even ended.
I don't know. I know there's a really good kicking about somewhere. There's a really good fan animation of it. And there's a really good like little scenes done with live action actors
Mhm.
that I'm pretty sure is fan made as well.
I remember they did an advert, a car advert with it in. I don't know if you remember that.
Vaguely.
Somebody made a car advert with Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon characters.
That's advert. Yeah,
Yeah, it looked great as well. It was solid. Yeah, and everybody got really excited.
they're really good pulls. Do you remember? Have you seen a film called Romance in the Stone?
Yeah, I was thinking of that. Yeah, just
Kurt
before.
Russell.
Uh-huh.
It's not Kurt Russell. It's fucking Kurt
Michael
Douglas.
Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Jesus Christ! I'll get there in the end. Yeah, that is a brilliant adventure movie. I'd class that as full on adventure. It's oh my god, I'm terrible with the names. What's the lady called?
I can't remember the lady in it. I
Oh
remember.
my
I remember like
days.
bits of it. Was it? Was it? Was it not Kim Cattrall? She was in everything at the time.
No, it was
Was it not her from Top Gun?
in a second. Kathleen Turner. Kathleen Turner. As soon as I googled it, I remembered it. Oh my god, that's some age now. 1984. That's a great movie, isn't it? She's a writer, isn't she? And she gets word that her sister's missing or her sister's gone somewhere or being captured, so she goes out, takes it on herself to go and find her. And ends up running into Michael Douglas, who's like a smuggler or something in the jungle. And they go through the jungle. And there's loads of just cool bits in it. Like there's the very kind of typical scene where like a snake comes down behind her, and doesn't he like catch the snake or kill the snake or something when they're in the airplane? And they fry it up and they cook the snake and they have the snake to eat.
I remember watching it as a kid on video and loving it, but I can't remember much about it. I mean, it's been a long time since I didn't it get
And
a
as a kid,
sequel as well.
as a kid, you don't realize. You think, oh, they're in an airplane, they're burning all the stuff in the airplane. I'm sure it was bags of weed that were burning in the airplane
Right.
to keep them warm in there.
84. Jesus Christ.
Danny DeVito as well, who wasn't necessarily a bad guy in it, but he was the one who was after the jewel or the stone. That might have been the sequel. Actually, might have been Jewel of the Nile.
He's in the cast for Romance in the Stone. And Jewel of the Nile as well. Yeah, I thought it had a sequel, Jewel of the Nile.
Yeah, I think the sequel became more popular,
right.
if I remember rightly. The characters were already established. It was 1985. It had the soundtrack when the going gets tough. When the going gets tough, tough kick. That was great. My singing's not so great, but that was great.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that again. I remember loving it as a kid. I remember it was one that we rented loads, and I say rented. My mum was friends with the like the wifey who owned the local video shop, so they would just let us take videos for now all the time. Yeah. And I remember taking that all the time because I thought it was great. Yeah, I need to watch that again, don't I?
Yeah, it's great fun. Great fun. And it's funny, and it has got a little bit of everything, like we're saying. Like there's a little bit of action, there's a little bit of romance, there's a little bit of adventure, a little bit of mystery in there. Mm-hmm. Great adventure movie. Another one that I've got that blurs the line a little bit between, well, a lot really, between adventure and sci-fi is a movie, Inner Space. Can you remember Inner Space?
Yeah, he turns tiny.
Yeah, Dennis Quaid
was in Martin Short's body.
Martin Short. Yeah, he gets injected into Martin Short's ass. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
It's Meg Ryan as well, isn't it? Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, some good effects and all. Really great effects.
There's some brilliant effects in there. Brilliant effects.
I remember the bit where he changes his face.
Yeah.
He's shaking his head and stuff, and it's complete nonsense, but like it's it's brilliant. Yeah. And there's the bad guy, isn't there, with like
the cowboy.
Is it a cowboy?
Yes, the cowboy.
Scar or something like that on his face or something, or like.
Oh, is that the same one? It
like
might be the different one.
Or something.
No, the cowboy's not the bad guy. The cowboy's the one, like the contact who they're going to meet. That's why he changes his face. He says, right, you need to look like him.
Yeah. God, it's been a while since I've seen that as well. Yeah, and there was a bad guy in the suit. He got injected as well, didn't he? And he tried to kill Dennis Quaid's little spaceship.
Yeah, the cowboy.
In a space.
I'm just looking now at the cast, trying to find out who the bad guy was. Mr. Ego. Was that him? Was that the bad guy? Mr. Ego. Yeah, he's got like a hand that changes, doesn't he? Like a prosthetic hand.
That was it. Yeah.
But he changes it to like a claw, and he changes it to like different weapons. Yeah, he gets miniaturized as well and puts inside him, doesn't he? He's got the finger that's like the one of his hands shaped like it's just pointing, but his fingertips the end of the barrel of a gun.
Right.
And he like fires, and then he turns to a kid and like blows the end of his fingers. Oh, class. Martin Short's just typically Martin Short, just being hilarious in it as well.
Yeah, he was the comedy.
Yeah. Meg Ryan back in the day. Meg Ryan back in the day was stunning as well. I'm trying to think what else happened in it that I really enjoyed. I love the bits like that. The effects, like you say, were fantastic. Like the scene when he says, "Oh, I've got to put a clamp on your eye so I can see what you're seeing
Yeah, I
at,"
was just thinking about that, and he shoots that dart in
and he
his
shoots
eyes,
the
doesn't he?
thing at the back of his eye.
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah, it made me wince as well when I watched
Yeah.
that.
Had a little laser so he could kind of navigate and cut through the tissues and the vessels that he
He was
needed to
like
get
cutting
through.
out of arteries and stuff, wasn't he? And like into
Yeah.
different areas. Yeah.
Great movie. But yeah, I'd class that as an adventure movie. Another one that I've got now, I mean, I've got quite a few, is another one that blurs the line a little bit, is Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that one. Yeah, is that an adventure?
Yeah, it's one I don't. I say if I didn't put an adventure, I don't know what I would class it as.
I don't. Yeah, that's true. Because it's not like there's not enough action for it to be an action film. I don't think.
No.
Even though it's got some good bits, it's not. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, it's got little bits of like martial arts action. It's got little bits of gunfighting action. It's got
Yeah,
little bits of humor in
some
there.
horror.
Some horror.
Yeah, I mean it is an amazing film. Like it's been
It's
getting remade for years, hasn't it? I know
well,
The
yeah,
Rock was.
they've been touting it about and talking about it
Yeah, they were saying The
for
Rock
an
was going to
age.
be Jack Burton, but nah.
Yeah, that would kill it, I think. Yeah, it was great. Jack Burton on the Pork Chop Express.
Uh,
Yeah, I only drive as fast as I can see. Beyond that, it's all in the reflexes.
it's on the replay.
It's all in the reflexes.
God, really terrible. I've got one that might be controversial. I don't know how you feel about it, and
Go on then.
I know you're a bit of a fanny sometimes. Uh, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
No, I'll give you that. Yeah. Sean Connery.
Yeah, because a lot of people hate that. They think it's a terrible film, and
Really?
I'll admit it's not the best film in the world,
No, but
but I think it's great. I think it's
is it another one where they were planning to do that and then do a bunch of sequels after it?
I mean, probably it ends on a bit of a not a cliffhanger, but it's got like a stinger at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they probably were going to do spin-offs or something, because I think there's a lot of comics. It's graphic novels or whatever. I think there's a lot of graphic novels, so they could have had other stories to tell, and they're all kind of not villains, but like they all have villainous aspects to them, don't
Yeah.
they?
Was
The characters.
Connery Van Helsing?
No, he was Alan Quatermain.
Yes. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, and then there was the young buck, the American agent, wasn't it? Who was like
he was
Quatermain took under his wing.
Tom Sawyer,
Tom Sawyer.
Agent Sawyer. Yeah, there's Invisible Man.
Yeah, Invisible Man. He was great.
There was Nina Harker from Dracula, Jonathan Harker's wife.
Oh yeah, and she was stunning as well.
And who else was there?
She actually, if I remember rightly, she was drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, she's pretty fit. Captain Nemo, of course.
Yeah.
In that fucking sick car that he had. That big long white 6-wheel car with all like the silver ornate stuff on the front. Man, that's up for me. That's up there with the original Batmobile.
No, that's
like
pushing it. That's pushing it to heights. That like, I mean, it's a cool car, but it's not. It's no Batmobile.
Give over. It's
no.
It's an absolute work of art.
It's a cool car. I'll give you that, but it's no Batmobile.
Oh, just looking at her now. Beautiful. His name was Jekyll and Hyde, of course.
Yes, yeah.
Jason Fleming playing him? Can't remember, I think.
Is that the one where at the end one of the bad guys gets the formulator and he like necks it out of like
he drinks a massive gallon of it, and he's like guzzling it.
And you can see him like standing like, oh, not the whole thing.
Yeah.
Who was the bad? And it was Dorian Gray, the bad guy.
He was helping the bad guy. Yeah,
double crossed him.
He was a double agent. Yeah, he was he was a shithouse.
He was a shithouse.
Yeah, the bad guy was Moriarty, of course.
Yeah.
Oh
yes, yeah, because he
didn't find out.
Doesn't he get with Mia earlier in the movie, and there's a battle between those two at the end.
Yeah, he tries. I think he has a bit of a dalliance with her.
Yeah, that is a great movie.
Where they try to catch Hyde, and he's like, he's running around in London on the rooftops and everything, and they shooting at him to like change his course to like he's like shooting. Yeah. Oh man, great film. It got really shit on, and it got some really bad reviews. But I thought it was so much fun. It was a bit creative, you know. Like, I mean, it wasn't totally original because it's based on Alan Moore books, the graphic novels.
Yeah, but it was good, wasn't it?
But it was a bit of a left field punt. It wasn't just another Superman movie, you know.
Mm.
They took a bit of a risk with it. Didn't pay
How
off.
long ago was that then? That must have been early 2000s, was it?
2003.
Yeah.
Apparently, the rumor is I don't know if it's been fully confirmed or not, but Connery turned down Morpheus in The Matrix to make League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how much truth is, but I know that's the popular rumor is that he turned down Morpheus. Yeah,
Wow.
because the script didn't make sense to him.
Wow. I mean, that's fucking. Ah, well, I'm saying it's disappointing. Like Connery had nothing to worry about, did he? Jesus.
No, God, no. Nah.
Jesus.
Too busy counting his money.
Yeah, exactly. He had a fantastic filmography.
Play golf.
Yeah. What was the movie? Would you class that as adventure? Probably not. Probably more of a heist movie. The Connery movie with Catherine Zeta-Jones, Entrapment.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's good. It's good. I'll not spoil it. I'll not say much more. But add it to the list that you've got for things to watch, and it's good. Enjoy it. I don't know how well it'll date it, but at the time, that was really good fun.
Yeah, I remember the trailers. I remember the trailers were everywhere. That shot of Catherine Zeta-Jones' ass in the lasers.
Yeah, that was the trot. That was
the
the
shot. Yeah, like
that was the shot.
Yeah,
That was.
I remember the trailers were everywhere, and it was pretty much just dressing for that shot.
Yeah, exactly. Everything built to that shot of Catherine
the
Zeta-Jones'
whole film
ass.
hangs around it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. It was like the whole movie hinges on that when Catherine Zeta-Jones is sliding underneath the lasers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
How
I've
we're
never
going to
seen it.
market? You can just imagine them sitting in a room, can you? How we're going to market this? Who's in it? Catherine Zeta-Jones. She's got a great ass. Get her to just slide underneath the lasers. Yeah, and that was it. That was the branding for the movie. Unbelievable.
Another one as well. Speaking of Sean Connery, Dragonheart, one of Kev's favourites.
Oh my God!
Kev had it on
Yeah.
video. And me and Kev used to sit and watch that in his bedroom when we were kids. Dragonheart, banger.
When you were a kid, how old was that? I feel like that was a 2000 movie.
I say kids. I think will have been at school. 96.
96.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, it feels like that should have been like in the 2000s as well. But that was a great movie. Yeah, he was the voice of the dragon, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah. Draco.
Yeah. Yeah, that had great effects, if I remember rightly, as well.
For the time, it was
For
amazing.
the time, the effects were great.
The dragon looked unreal at the time.
Yeah.
It's aged a fair bit now, like. But
yeah, but I mean, yeah, I remember it looking great. Isn't there a scene where the dragon like stands up and like peels its chest back, so you can see like its heart?
Yeah, because he's got half a heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave half his heart to the king, who turned evil.
Yes. Yeah.
David Thewlis, of course, great bad guy. Yeah, so that was his big secret through the whole film.
Yeah, half the heart belongs to the king.
Yeah, he felt like it was his fault.
So wasn't he the last dragon or something?
They'd all been hunted. Yeah.
Oh, it's a great movie. Kev will be devastated. We've been talking about Dragonheart without.
Yeah, Dragonheart was great. There was a lot of like late 90s, early 2000s, like adventures, like romps. You know, like there was what was it called with Zorro with Banderas.
Yeah, great movie.
Brilliant
I was
film,
one of those I was considering putting on there.
Yeah,
that was really good.
That's a proper sort of romp. That, you know, like an old school sort of tally ho. You know, swinging off the ropes and stuff like that.
Yeah, great swordsmanship as well. And isn't Anthony Hopkins in that as the original Zorro?
He's like the old Zorro who trains the new one. Yeah.
Yeah. He like gets him out of prison or something, or he finds him and he trains him.
Yeah, he's like a street beggar or something. Yeah, he's like he's a street rat to crow.
Yeah, because doesn't his like his brother gets killed or something like that, so he says, I'm going to go and kill him. And Banderas says, well, you're not going to kill him like that. He can barely stand, let alone take on somebody as talented as that.
I can't remember the particulars.
Zeta-Jones is in that one as well, actually.
She is, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
That's a great one. Obviously, Goonies is a great adventure movie. Like I've spoke about Goonies loads and loads.
Yeah,
we haven't here a few times. It's just absolutely peak.
That's like a template for adventure movies. That because it's got a bit scary stuff in. The Fratellis, they start out a bit scary, and when they're in that fucking dingy old cafe.
Yeah.
And they ask for some water, and it's like fucking
sludge. I don't even think it's like sludge. It's just
ditch
like
water.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rank.
Yeah, and they were very creepy, the Fratellis, and Sloth obviously was creepy before you knew that he was
Yeah.
a nice guy.
Sloth. Chunk.
Oh yeah,
Sloth.
Sloth love Chunk.
Chunk. Sloth little chunk.
Um,
Great.
yeah, what else was the Deep Rising? That was well, that was kind of an adventure, action horror maybe
Which one's deeper? Oh, yes, yes,
with
yes, yeah.
the octopus things.
Yeah.
Um,
We touched on it briefly. What did you? Oh, well, Indiana Jones's adventure movies. Which would you say is the best Indiana Jones movie?
that's a tough one. Certainly none of
Just
the
the
new
original
ones.
ones. I'm not counting Crystal Skull because that's shit.
Crystal Skull was dire.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm not even putting that in the conversation. And the new
yeah,
one,
took me 3
what?
watches to get through that.
Oh,
A Crystal Skull, and the new one I've not even bothered. I just have no time
the
for
new
any.
one's quite good. You know, there's some questionable special effects or CGI at the start. Um, but if you let that go, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's certainly not as strong as the original trilogy.
Oh no.
But it's also a far stretch away in quality than Crystal Skull. But just the original three, like, what would you say is the best out of the three?
I don't know. It's hard. It really is hard to pick because they've all got so much going for them.
Yeah.
Um,
For me, it's Last Crusade.
yeah,
Back on with Connery again. I love that dynamic between the two of them in there.
they were great together.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
Junior.
Yeah, I think they had it really perfected by that point.
Yeah.
Like it was so tight, and there was no like rubbish bits, like or like slow bits or anything. It was.
No, it was,
I remember Last Crusade was just every second was just of the film was just like it was just so tight and it was on
yeah,
mission,
it was
so to
on to the
speak.
next. It was on to the next. It was
Yeah.
on to the next. It was just beat after
Um.
beat after beat.
Yeah. I mean, I like this. I like different aspects of all of them. It's too hard to pick. I like the religious sort of stuff of the first one. Like how it's all the Ark of
Yeah.
the Covenant, how it's God and stuff like that. It's all a bit religious and
Yeah, they
um,
knew really well how to play, and it might have been a Lucas thing, it might have been a Spielberg thing, it might have been whoever it come from, but the soundtrack and when they put the music into that, like,
the music. Yeah.
yeah, when they're talking about anything that's kind of like really foreboding or anything that's kind of
Yeah.
like,
It's like what I've like we said before. It's scores. Like
yeah,
they were
oh
they
man,
were they were like written perfectly back then.
when they makes a discovery or he's talking about the staffs or he's talking about where the locations to things are, and it suddenly drops and the music changes with them and the
Yeah.
tone and it gets tied in on them. Oh man, it's great.
Yeah, you're proper along for the ride with the music. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good theme tune. Like Indy's got an all time theme tune.
Yeah.
Um,
Dun, 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 dun,
yeah, it's
dun,
proper adventure music that.
dun, 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 dun,
But yeah,
dun,
the scores
dun,
were
dun.
great for all of them. Yeah.
I always think about what she called. I can't remember the what she's calling it when she's drinking in
Oh, the first one.
yeah,
Was it Lost Lane?
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, yeah. Which is when she's
Um,
drinking in the Alps or the
Margot Kidder,
Himalayas or
maybe.
wherever she is, and she's got about fucking 15 shots that she's
Yeah,
downed in
yeah.
front of her, and she's still going. I'm thinking, give over. Come on,
She's a tough lady.
come on.
Yeah, Margot Kidder, that was it. Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah. What's the character name?
I just watched the bloody thing the other night. No, it was on telly.
Was it?
I stuck the telly on, and I was gonna turn the Xbox on, and but Indy was on, and I sat and watched like the last half of it, and I noticed something for the first time that I've never noticed before, or either I've never noticed it before, or I've just not remembered.
Marion.
I've memory hold it. Marion, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The creepy German guy
Yeah.
with the glasses, he's got hair.
What do you mean he's got hair?
Like he's got hair. I thought he was bald. He's like bald on the top, but he's got black hair on the sides of his head. And I would have swore on a pile of Bibles that he was bald. He was like a bald character, but he hasn't. He's got black hair on the sides of his head. And I saw there's a scene. It was near the end. There's a scene near the end where I think it's the bit where Indy's got the rocket, the RPG pointed at the Ark. He's up on a hilltop, and he said, "Blow it up," and he says, "Oh, do it, blow it up if you want." And I think there's a bit where he sits down, and because he's in his like his long leather black trench coat and his black hat. I think he's like or something like that, isn't he? And he takes his hat off to like sort of to wipe his head because he's sweaty. and I was like, he's got fucking hair, and I'd never noticed. I must have memory all that or something. Yeah, I'd honestly, I'd have swore on my life that he was bald.
You know,
There you go. Not paying attention. But yeah, the bit and I watched. I was fully glued to the bit at the end where they open the ark, and it all just goes to shit. Like all hell breaks loose.
yeah,
Um,
it's great, isn't it?
that was great. Some good effects there with the face melting and stuff, and
Yeah.
head
Again,
explode.
like
Love
as a
head
kid,
explode.
like that was quite fucking harrowing as a
It was
kid.
unreal, that wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Got
that was the thing that you went and told everybody at school that you'd seen. You know, like the
yeah.
face melting. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I wonder if they
Because
must have made a
we
wax
must have
model.
only been like, I bet, yes, 9 when we seen that movie.
Or when we saw it, I
Yeah.
mean, it came out when did it come out? It was 81. It came out. It'll have took at least a year to get to Britain on video.
Oh, easy.
So even then, we were just being born then,
They used
82.
to push it, didn't they? Used to say like from cinema release, it was cinema release a year later to video, a year later or 6 months later to TV
Yeah, yeah. I
to push
imagine it was.
on.
I imagine it might have even been a bit longer back then because they had to make VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but whenever it was when I first saw it, I'll have been about 10, 9,
Yeah,
10,
same.
something
I
like that.
think
It was probably on telly, and my dad let me watch it.
that was
Yeah, the face
terrifying.
melting was great. The bit as well where where they open the ark and like there's like lightning shoots out of the ark and it goes through all the there's like
Oh,
a load of soldiers stood in front of it.
yeah,
And
change
it
them,
like
doesn't
yeah,
it?
it goes through all of them, but like some of them the eyes are lit up and stuff
Yeah,
and like the mouths are lit up. It's really creepy. And it's just really short. So it's just like a couple of seconds shot where the lightning hits them all. And yeah, like some of them it's just like the chests are like bright red, but some of them their eyes and the mouths are lit up as well, like orange. It's like they're all burned up inside.
yeah, it's terrifying.
Horrifying, yeah. It was a really creepy effect. Yeah, and then it all goes nuts, all the ghosts come out and they start to melt and explode and stuff like that. Yeah.
Have
And
you
the bit in
seen the
the
bit online where people like saying, and like it kind of makes sense when they see it, but at the same time, it wouldn't be a movie if they did that. That's the whole point of making the movie, to go on an adventure with him. When they say like, "Oh, take Indiana Jones away from the movie," and it still has the same result. Like eventually, the Nazis still find the Ark. Takes them
right,
longer, but
yeah,
they do
yeah.
find it. They do open it, and then they do all die.
And they get roasted, yeah.
Yeah,
And I suppose that's true, yeah.
yeah.
Didn't have to do anything.
But you wouldn't have a movie then, would you? It's just
No, that's true.
yeah, but it's great. Even the Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom is a great movie. Well, they all are. All the three original
I
ones.
love Temple of Doom.
It's one of the rare few where if you just look at it as a trilogy, the first three movies,
Mhm.
it's almost a perfect trilogy.
Oh
Where
yeah.
all three of them are great.
Yeah. I don't know
All
if
three of them are fantastic.
any
And
one or other got like more stick than the other. Like was one of them the black sheep at all?
I don't know, not that I know of.
Probably need Kev or Turner for this. I'm
Yeah,
not down with me indie law.
but
Um,
I'll have a quick look. While I'm looking, the bit with the just in Harrowing bits as well in Temple of Doom, when that guy's like got his hand on the chest and
oh
he's
yeah.
pulling the hearts out. Fucking hell, that's fucking terrifying as well.
Om Nom Shiba, Om Nom Shiba.
Yeah.
Going to school and doing that to people.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? The way then you like got to hold up the chest and like, no, what
That's
are
it,
you
yeah,
doing?
he squeezed the heart. Om Nom Shiba, Om Nom Shiba.
Yeah. Indiana Jones film franchise movies. Let's have a look.
What did the bald guy said something when he was ripping hearts out as well. Oh, Kalima, that was it. Kalima,
Kalima. Yeah.
Kalima, and the guy would say Om Nom Shibai, Om Nom Shibai, when they were lowering him into the fire pit.
Yeah.
Great stuff. And there's that little kid, wasn't there, who'd like been? I think he was like the king or something. He was like a child
Oh
emperor or
yes, yes,
something, and he
yes.
had a
Yeah.
turban, and he'd been brainwashed, and I found him really creepy.
Yeah. It was terrifying when he'd just been creepy because it had short round in as well, didn't it? And he
It
was
did,
chasing short
yeah,
round
yeah.
about.
Yeah, they had a scrap on in the mine. Yeah.
Well, judging by what they've got on Rotten Tomatoes, which is whatever you can go from by there, Raiders of the Lost Ark is obviously the highest one with 94%. Then Last Crusade with 84%. And then they talk absolute fucking nonsense because they've got Crystal Skull with 77%. And then Temple of Doom with 77% also.
Oh no, Temple of Doom was way better
Way better.
than that
Way better.
bloody nonsense. Bloody
Way better.
Shia LaBeouf swinging through the friggin' trees with a load of monkeys.
No.
Absolute nonsense.
Yeah, but Indie Jones, I mean, we grew up with the indie movies. Indie Jones, I said, did I say that? Stupid.
Indy Jones, yeah, that's a
Indie
new one.
Jones, the Indiana Jones movies we grew up with, and they are top tier. They'll always be one of the best movies.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're up there with like you I don't know what you would call them, like uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Milestone, maybe. But
Yeah, I know
like
what you mean.
you've got like your
Yeah,
indies, your RoboCop, Predator,
yeah, they're like the
like
benchmark
benchmarks. That was it. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, in the same way that I think Lord of the Rings is a modern benchmark
Yeah,
of
well, I've
like
got that on my
films,
list
and
actually
yeah, I
for
was going to say we could probably talk about Lord of the Rings for an hour
yeah,
anyway.
for adventure movies. I've got that on my
Um,
list. Again, it's another one that blurs the lines a bit because is it an adventure movie? Would you class it as a fantasy movie? Yeah,
uh
but I'd definitely I'd put it down as
yeah, fantasy.
this.
I'd say fantasy, like fantasy adventure.
Yeah, there's definitely strong aspects of adventure
Yeah.
in there. They know what they're doing. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah.
were you a big fan of them when they came out? Because I know
Yes.
they were a bit like Marmite, weren't they? They were a bit divisive. They were either like you
Yes.
loved them or you hated them.
Yeah. Some people like really couldn't get wrap their head around all of it, the
No,
fantasy ness of it. I loved them. I thought they were great.
I did as well.
I'd never read the Lord of the Rings at all, or the Hobbit, or anything like that. I'd never read any Tolkien. I'm too horror to read fantasy stuff. But yeah, I watched the films. Look great, and I was looking forward to them, and I really thoroughly enjoyed them. I went and saw them with the lads at UCI in Newcastle
Yeah,
in
I think
Metro
I did as
Centre.
well. I
Uh,
think the only one I didn't see the first one in the cinema
uh,
because the first one landed about the same time. In my memory, I remember it as being about the same time, but it might not be. It's been a long time ago now. But I remember it being about the same time as The Matrix, and that
uh,
monopolized everything I was watching.
maybe,
I like
yeah.
it was all Matrix. And then I got
Um,
round to watching it. I got round to watching Lord of the Rings, the first one, on video, and thinking, shit, how did I let this one slip by me?
yeah. Fellowship of the Ring was 2001. When was the
Yeah, it's a little bit
Matrix?
later, isn't it?
Matrix is 99. Yeah.
Matrix in '99.
Um, yeah. Yeah. I love Lord of the Rings. The first one I thought was brilliant. Again, it was sort of like a complete film, even though it was part one of a series. Yeah, it was tons of practical effects, which I always love in a film.
Yeah.
Um,
The Uruk-hai looked great.
yeah, yeah.
That little fight at the end when they're fighting in the little woods, just before they all kind of split up.
Yeah. Oh, where Boromir holds them off.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was great. That was a great last stand. Um, yeah, and just all the like the stuff like the camera tricks, not so much camera tricks, but like like with the stuff with the scales, like hobbits looking smaller to
Yes,
people,
yeah.
like it was all very seamless, and it never looked rubbish.
No?
In some of them later ones, the what do you call them? The Bilbo films, um,
Oh, the Hobbit and
the Hobbit films. That was it. Yeah,
yeah,
some of that looked a bit sketch, like the scale of stuff.
yeah.
But I think they relied much heavier on
The
computer
CGI.
effects for the Bilbo films,
Yeah.
for the Hobbit films. Um, Everything was CGI in them films, absolutely fucking everything. Um, Even the characters are for the time, I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's a sketchy looking scene, isn't there, when they're doing like the barrels going down the river.
I hated that. Whichever one that was, I turned it off at that point because I just thought this is just like it was just padding. You could tell that it was
Yeah,
padding.
oh yeah.
Like they were.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
got massive backlash because there was like you're stringing it on for 20 minutes and it's in the book for about 3 lines.
yeah, but that was them all films, wasn't it? They were. It was like one book that they turned into 6 hours of movie, or
Yeah.
probably more. Um, yeah, it was. Yeah, I couldn't get away with them Hobbit films. Um, Too much nonsense. Whereas with Lord of the Rings, there was like slow points, like or not slow points, but like less upbeat points,
Hmm.
like where but there was a bit more character stuff went on. Whereas with the
Yeah.
Hobbit films, there never seemed to be. Like there was all them dwarves who all seemed pretty cool and interesting, but you
Yeah.
never learned a single thing about them. Like,
I love the I think my favorite one of the Rings movies, the second one, the Battle of Helm's Deep at the end.
Yeah, that was great. That. Yeah.
Fucking hell, that was brilliant.
Uh-huh.
So well done.
Yeah.
So well done. And you're right. Like I think the original trilogy, like the Rings films, if you compare them to the Hobbit films, it just
Mhm.
completely shit on them.
Yeah, the Hobbit films shouldn't have happened. I think they make a TV series or something.
Yeah.
Um, and focus more on characters and things. Uh, than trying to fill everything with like epic CGI
Yeah,
stuff.
because it doesn't work. Like,
No, it really didn't work. It took a lot of the charm and the soul out of it.
yeah,
Like less prosthetics and more like the bad guy, the White Orc, whatever he was called,
I can't remember.
Griselda. I don't fucking know. Um,
Griselda.
he was all CGI, and
Yeah,
it was
no.
soulless. You got no sense of peril from it, because you just knew he was going to get poked with a stick eventually and fall down and die.
Yeah,
Yeah, whereas in the first film, the Uruk-hai, the black ones, they were like
it was terrifying.
they were all real. They were guys in suits. They looked
Yeah,
and they were like really sweaty and sort of slavery and scary and
yeah,
yeah, they
yeah.
looked brilliant. They had sort and they were like all tall. They probably got big guys to play them, and they looked threatening and imposing. Yeah, and they were real, like you said. They were real. They were there. Um,
Well,
yeah, yeah. The Bilbo films were shit, and that recent TV series that they farted out. I thought that was a load of bollocks as well.
I've never seen beyond the first few episodes of the first
Yeah, I think I
season.
watched two or three, and I couldn't. I just thought this is just shite.
Hmm. I need
Where
to.
I've heard it's I've heard it's super divisive.
Yeah, I'll give it another
People
try.
seem
I'll
to
see.
hate
I
it. I
can't
love it.
remember why I tapped out. There was something else on that got my attention, and I think it might have been Mandalorian, if I remember rightly.
Oh Jesus!
That pulled me away from it.
Out of the frying pan into the even shittier frying pan.
No, Mandalorian's good.
Even over.
Yeah, you're not
That
having that one. Like,
that first season was all right. After that, fucking hell, that was dire. That episode with Jack Black and what's her name in? Oh, fucking hell!
with what in
It
Mandalorian?
had Jack Black in and what's her name? That singer. Oh God, what's her name, man? Lizzo.
With Jack Black?
Yeah,
Am
he
I
was
missing something? I
he
don't. I
was in
can't
an
remember
episode of
seeing that.
Mandalorian. Was he, or was it Boba Fett? No, it was Mandalorian. Yeah, he was.
Boba Fett was tragic.
Boba Fett was dog shit.
Boba Fett was tragic.
Yeah, Jack Black was, and it had what's his name? Doc Brown, Christopher Lloyd. He was in it as well.
In the same episode?
Yeah, he was.
No.
I think Christopher Lloyd was like hacking the. It was like a planet where everything was happy and cool, and they had loads of droids that worked there for them. Loads of ex military, the battle droids from the prequels. They had loads of them. Like they were like working. They were doing stuff there, working for everybody. And so the society was like all nice and fancy and happy. But I think Christopher Lloyd reactivated them to be battle droids again because he wanted to take over or something like that. He had a robo coup because the Mandalorian hates droids, doesn't he? So
Yeah, I
he
can't
didn't
remember
trust
that.
them. Didn't like it there. Yeah, and they did that.
Anyhow.
They had that. Yeah, Jack Black and Lizzo were like the king and queen of the world or something, or governor or some shit like that. And he had he had like a ridiculous name that Jack Black probably gave himself.
Yeah.
And he did that stupid shit where with the baby Yoda, where he just like flips out of his seat or whatever. Where they keep doing that same shit, where he just does like a big stupid flip that doesn't even look real. It just looks like somebody's thrown a fucking teddy across the room. And they did like 3 or 4 times, and everybody was like, "Oh, isn't it wonderful?" and clapped. And I'm sure all the assholes on Instagram sat and gave it a big thumbs up and were like, "This is so amazing." I fucking hate that show.
It's good. I'm going to make you sit and watch an episode of that.
Shit, man. Absolute shit. It started off good. It was space cowboys, space bounty hunters.
The first season was great,
and then they had to get the fucking Force in, and they had to get Baby Yoda, and eventually they got Luke Skywalker in there. Oh, and an X-wing, and all this shit, like, oh, do you remember this, guys? Oh, do you remember the X-wings? Oh, do you remember this? Oh, he's an AT-ST. Oh, remember those? Remember all this stuff from the originals? It's like, no, fuck off. It was good. You had a good thing going. It was Space Cowboys. It was Mando being a bit of an arsehole, and yeah. But no, he spoiled it. Anyway, Mandalorian can kiss my ass. And Boba Fett as well. And all the rest of it. Fuck Star
Boba
Wars.
Fett,
What a
Boba
shit.
Fett was shit. I'll give you that. Look at that. You know, you throw me right off track now. What was it about? Adventure movies.
Right. Edit it out.
uh, right. What did I have on my list? Oh, we talked about it before, but I definitely say this one as an adventure movie, The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, that was like spooky Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
Yeah. They were again, little bit of everything. Bit of
a little
romance
bit
with
of
the
everything.
ladies, bit of horror with the when he was a creepy mummy at the beginning.
Yeah,
Uh
bit of mystery with
yeah.
not knowing how the book works and what they're reading from the book.
Yeah.
It
Some
was Rachel Weisz's brother that had the comedy relief, didn't he?
John Hannah, yeah.
John Hannah. He was great in it.
And the other guy, what
Oh,
was he called? Benny.
Benny.
I forget
Yeah,
his name in real life, and he's brilliant. He's whatever he's in, he's great. He was in Deep
yeah.
Rising. He fixed the boat.
Benny
Um,
was great.
yeah, the classic shouting across the river.
Oh,
Who's got
like
all
the
the horses? And
yeah.
who's on the wrong side of the river?
Who's on the wrong side of the river? He looks and he
It's
goes, you
classic
can just
that.
see his face change, can't you?
Yeah, it's what the hell's his name?
But
Can't
that had
remember.
a little heroin bit as well, actually, with the scarabs when they get
The
Benny.
bugs when they eat people. Yeah, it was horrible. That.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. I thought I mentioned that bit briefly from fucking the indie movies that when they're down in the sewers with the rats. Millions of rats. Ugh.
I remember that bit. Oh, where they find the tomb under the museum. Is it
Yeah.
under a church or a museum or something?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's like the bit with the snakes as well.
I don't mind the snakes. It's just the rats. But yeah, Mummy is great.
Yeah, Mummy was
Like good
brilliant.
action, good adventure action. Do you know what I mean? Like really kind of fisticuffs, kind of like fight scenes.
Yeah, yeah. It was indie really. Well, it was like it was punch ups with a little bit of the odd gunshot here and there, and
Yeah,
yeah,
not like kind
proper
of really
old school
fluid like
fisticuffs.
martial arts kind of action, but like really kind of just brutal like one shots.
Yeah, just like bashing each other. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, great, great. The again another one where the effects at the time when his face appears in the sandstorm coming towards them
Oh yeah.
and his face appeared, fucking hell, that was great.
Oh, it all looked great at the time. I remember the
Yeah.
bit where he when he first wakes up and he's like a zombie, like a corpse sort of thing, before he
Yeah.
gets all jazzed
Oh
back up,
yeah, and he's kind of
and
like breaking
he
and,
was like
and
falling apart. Yeah,
juddering.
like
Yeah,
it looked brilliant at the time. Yeah, yeah, great films. The second one was good as well. Um, I think that was the one with the wife where the wife had came back,
oh
the
yeah,
mummy's wife, and she was then trying to bring him back.
yeah. Oh yeah, there was a good fight in that actually with Rachel Weisz and
Oh
the
yeah,
the wife
they had a
with
fight,
the
didn't they?
size.
Back in history. Yeah, yeah. Because she was a reincarnation or something, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was part
Yeah,
of the timeline or a descendant or something along the lines.
yeah. And then we had the Scorpion King. No, at the
Yeah,
end, I think it was the end of the second one
yeah, and that was
where the
sketchy
Rock was like,
CGI.
that was dreadful.
That's
That.
that's the meme of all bad CGI now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. I had that on there. I had Jumanji.
Yeah, I was thinking Jumanji earlier when we were talking about something else. Yeah, I thought Jumanji was a good one because I was thinking of a film. I don't know if you remember called Congo with the monkeys,
Oh yes, yes, I do. Yeah,
gorillas.
yeah.
That scared the shit out of me and all when I was young.
I don't remember much of it to be honest.
It's based on a book which I wouldn't mind reading. I think it's a Michael Crichton book. I
Mm.
think, and apparently they didn't really do the book much justice. I remember at the time people were moaning about it, but I thought the film was great. I've not seen it in a long time, so it's probably rubbish now. But I remember really enjoying it when I was a kid, and it was quite scary. It had these white gorillas that were like smart gorillas.
Yeah.
Um, and
I
I think they were
vaguely
like,
remember bits of it, but I can't really remember
yeah,
the
because they're
full
looking for
gist of it.
diamonds to work a satellite laser for communications, and they had to go and find these lost diamond mines, but they were protected by the white gorillas, and they've been
Oh
bred to be
yeah.
smart. They were like really smart and really aggressive. Uh, yeah, and Tim Curry in it as well. Put
They're
down
very
my
good.
sesame cake.
Yeah. Yeah. What are the ones that I had? A couple more. I had Jumanji. Robin Williams is great. Um, I
Oh
had
yeah, I
Pirates of
forgot
the
he was in
Caribbean. The first one in particular. I wasn't too fussed about the sequels, but the first one is a standalone. I think the first Pirates is
that.
really strong.
Yeah, the first one was great. Yeah, I couldn't really tell you what happened in many of the sequels. They
No,
all
they
kind of
blur
blurred into
together
one a
too
bit.
much. Yeah.
Um,
They felt a little bit forced.
I mean, Davy Jones was great.
Yeah, the effects on
Like
Davy Jones were
he's
great.
played, yeah, and he was played really well. Like Bill Nye. I mean, Bill Nye's
I was
great
going
and
to say it's
everything. I
Bill
think.
Nye, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it looked great. But I just couldn't tell you what happened in them. They all sort of blurred into one a little bit.
Yeah. The first one, I think the first one stands out for me is because you're right. The second and third just kind of roll into one movie. I can remember scenes of them like
Yeah,
all blending
I
together,
remember
but I couldn't
bits, but
tell
I
you.
don't remember what happens in them. Yeah,
Yeah,
they just all
you know.
chasing each other around a lot. Yeah, the first one was great, and what's his name? Jeffrey Rush,
Yes,
Barbosa.
yeah,
I think his
Bubbles.
name. He's so good in it. He's just so piratey.
Oh,
He's
100%.
like a proper pirate, and I bet Jeffrey Rush was having the time of his life making that
You can
because he
see,
was.
you can see
Yeah,
when he's doing some of the scenes, like when he's talking about the apples.
yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
can see he's having the time of his life making the
I'm
movie.
gonna have a whole bushel of apples.
A whole bushel of apples.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. The first one was brilliant. It was and you could tell when you were watching it, it had that like gold dust. You knew, like you just knew this is going to get 10 sequels.
yeah,
Because it had everything. It had
yeah,
especially the cast. The cast was it was next level. And Johnny Depp created like a cinema like legend. Like Jack Sparrow is just going to
yeah.
be
Jack
just
Sparrow will
going to
live
go on
forever
for
now.
going to go on forever. Yeah, yeah.
Live forever.
We'll never see the end of Jack Sparrow
No.
content.
Keira Knightley was really good in it. Who else was it? Orlando Bloom. The guy, who was the guy who was the naval captain? I can't
I can't
remember.
remember. There's a few. Yeah, they're all played by stuffy Englishmen, weren't they?
Hmm.
Pride and Prejudice types.
Yeah. But anyway, regardless, very, very strong. And the last couple I had on there for adventure movies, I had Hook, which was the first movie I ever seen in the cinema.
All right. Oh
Yeah,
Jesus.
with another Robin Williams ones.
Hook's such a weird one. Um, I don't know. I was too young to recognize how well it was taken at the time.
Yeah.
Um, because when you watch, I remember watching it thinking like, "What the fuck is this film?" It was such. It was just. It was mad. Like, and I think it still is.
Yeah, it's mad.
It's
But it's
just so.
great at the
It's
same
weird.
time.
What's his name? Dustin Hoffman in it is just amazing.
Oh,
I
fantastic.
couldn't believe
So
it was
was
Dustin
me.
Hoffman.
So was
Yeah,
Bob
yeah.
Hoskins.
Aye.
Great. The pair of them together.
Yeah.
You couldn't have cast them any better than that.
Don't try and stop me, Smee.
Yeah.
like,
I said, Smee, don't try and stop me.
I could have watched the whole film of Captain Hook, just fucking around on the ship with these pirates. Like, he was great, and I couldn't believe it was Dustin Hoffman until at the end when he took his wig off, and then he looked more like him then
I
when he
didn't
had.
even know then. It was years later I
Yeah,
found out. And
I,
somebody said, like, who's Justin Hoffman? I said, shut up. No, it's
yeah.
not.
I thought, I thought you can see when he's got the wig off, you could see like a
Mhm.
bit better. But when he had the wig on and all the rest of it, it was amazing.
Yeah,
And
it
he
was
played
Hook.
him so good.
It
Yeah,
was Captain Hook,
he
yeah.
was. Yeah, again, proper piratey, but a different kind of pirate from Barbosa. Yeah, it was just the rest. It was like the stuff with the Lost Boys. None of it made it. It just made bugger all sense. It
Yeah.
was. It was all over the shop. Fucking what's his
Yeah.
Rufio with his friggin' skateboard
Oh,
flying around the trees. What was all that about?
Rufio. Rufio.
Fucking Rufio.
Rufio.
I get that it was like imitation flying, because he couldn't fly because only Peter Pan could fly. But
Yeah.
it was just
Bangarang. Was it Bangarang they used to
that was
shout?
what they shouted. Yeah, it was
Bangarang!
stuff like that. I was like, what the fucking hell is all of this? Like, it was so confusing to me as a kid because it was a Peter Pan kind of
Yeah.
sequel, wasn't it? Not good, sort of.
Julia Roberts was Tinkerbell,
Reboot.
wasn't she?
Yeah, yeah. Lots of stories about how she was a nightmare to work with.
Oh, really?
Everybody wanted her offset. Apparently,
Oh,
she was a
Christ.
massive nightmare, and the whole crew just hated her. They
Oof.
all wanted her to just film her scenes and go because she was
Oh, my God.
she was a real nightmare to work with. Apparently,
don't like hearing things about that about like good movies there because you just think like, why sour a good movie? Well, but
It's
like
actors, man.
outside of movies and
They're the
everything, like,
actors are the star of the show. You know,
yeah,
it's
it
never about
costs
the film for them. It's about them.
even away from movies and everything. Like it takes nothing to be nice to people. Do you know what I mean? Like it costs
Oh
nothing.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah,
Like why be a dick? Like
yeah.
everybody wants to do the job and do something that's worthy of
It's because
putting
they
out
can.
into.
It's because they can
Yeah,
be. You know, like there's a
it's just
certain
a bit
type of
shitty,
person.
isn't
You
it?
know, some people are
Mm.
just if they can be shitty, they will be shitty rather than
No,
be
I don't
nice.
get that at
Then
all.
you've got your
Don't get that.
Keanu's who are just like nice to people. You know,
Yeah, like the salt
just
of the
chill.
earth.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolute salt of the earth.
yeah. Hook was a weird one.
Hook was good. He can fly, he can bite, and he can crawl.
Oh my god,
I sound more like a fucking dog than
what
I'm
the fuck
crowing
was
there.
that?
It was a crow.
El's teeth.
I kind of crow. I'm not fucking Peter
You're
Pan.
fucking right. You're not. Peter Pan never got old. Fucking hell.
you know. And the last ones that I had on my little list were the National Treasure movies with Nick Cage.
Never seen them.
You've never seen National
Nah,
Treasure?
never seen them.
There you go. There's a really
There
strong
you
adventure
go.
movie.
I've heard good things. Like
Oh,
it's
it's
one of them
great.
films that I've just never seen. Like it's never been on the telly, and I've never thought of it to watch it.
It's
You
very
know,
good.
to like
It's
find
very good.
if to like put something on. It's always a horror movie for me.
Put it on. You don't need to be so invested in it that you're hanging off every word they say. You
Yeah,
put
yeah.
it on
Oh,
and be
yeah,
doing
yeah,
something else in the background, and
yeah,
just you'll get the gist of it.
yeah.
It's really good. It's really quite clever because it's really um what's the word I'm looking for? It's really not soaks. What's the word I'm looking for? Where it's really deep, or it's ingrained in kind of American history. There's a
Right.
lot of American history references throughout all of it, and
Yeah, because
how accurate it is, I
it's
don't
finding
really
like
know.
they find like or is this the fucking the American
Declaration of
document? That's
Independence.
the one. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's stuff to do like that. Yeah, it's go miss. Does he steal it or something? Or is it go missing?
yeah. So
Or he
he's
has to
looking
use it to
for
find something else.
he's looking for the Templars, the Knights of Templars treasure
Mhm.
essentially, and he follows a couple of clues that lead him to a bit where he realizes that the next step, the next clue to find out where the treasure's going to be or it's going to be hidden, is there's a secret message on the back of the Declaration of Independence,
Mhm.
and he's working with Sean Bean, who's like financing all of his like kind of little quests and missions to go and
Mhm.
find this treasure. And Sean Bean goes, right, well, there's ways and means of doing this. They're not going to let us do it. We'll just steal it.
Mhm.
And Nick Cage kind of goes, no, we're not stealing that. Like, absolutely not, because he's a thorough patriot. He's a historian. So he's like, no,
Mhm.
no, we're not doing that at all. And Sean Bean goes, well, I am. And he tries to kill him.
Right.
So Nick Cage and the guy who's helping him, who's like the comic relief guy, and the lady in it, oh, I can't remember her name is, another one that's absolutely smoking hot.
There's a lot of
They
smoking hot ladies tonight, man.
yeah, there is. Um, Nick Cage says, right, well, we have to steal it first. If we steal it first, we're going to take it and get it out without anybody getting injured. We
Mhm.
can find out what we need to find out and move on without injuring anybody or killing anybody, because he'll, like Sean Bean, will just go in and kill everybody to get what he wants. And that's how it all starts and goes from
Mhm.
there. And then it's just this roller coaster ride of them looking through all these different clues and trying to find this treasure of the Knights Templar.
Ah,
Very, very good. Well worth a watch.
I'll give them a go. I should have been watching them by now. Oh, fuck,
National.
it's fucking stack cast like
Oh, yeah.
Ed Harris, Sean Bean, John Voight, Harvey Keitel, Christopher Plummer,
Yeah.
Eric
Diane
King,
Kruger. That's the
Helen
lady.
Mirren, yeah, Diane Kruger,
Yeah.
yeah, Laura big names in that.
Oh, yeah. Stackcast. It's very, very good. Very good. I would definitely give that a watch. And they've talked about, so there's two of them. They've talked about for years doing a third movie. And I think they're getting greenlit. I might be wrong. Don't hold me to this, but I think they've been greenlit to do a short series, like 4 or 5 episodes on Disney
Right,
Plus, kind of wrap up the story. Because the second one is a bit like League of Gentlemen, where there's a little stinger at the end where you think, oh,
right.
well, we'll go on to something else.
I've heard for years that people have been desperate for a part three.
Yeah.
So yeah. filmmaker. Eventually, Disney will just throw so much money at it, nobody will be able to say no.
Yeah. It'll be great. Have you got any more on your list of bits and bobs? The ones that you had.
I will scroll down my list. Yeah, I've got some stuff, Brad. It's again, you know, I'm not really sure if it's adventure, like Monster Squad. That was kind of like a Goonies with monsters, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, Congo. Congo was a good adventure film. I mean, I suppose Star Wars as well would be an adventure film, but I don't really want to talk about them because I'm fucking sick of Star Wars. What else? Stuff like the old what was he called? Clash of the Titans, Jason and the Argonauts with the Ray Harryhausen thingy. They were great. Them, I loved mythological movies.
Yeah, they're the
and stuff
classics, aren't
when I
they?
was a
Like
kid.
really kind of classic adventure movies.
Yeah. I loved them. What else was there? Oh, there was I was thinking about it earlier as well when we were talking about Indy, Flight of the Navigator.
Oh, great movie.
Fucking, that was so good. I loved that as a kid. I was desperate for one of them spaceships as a kid.
Yeah.
When he was like flying around the world and stuff. Oh, I'd have
great.
killed one of them. Yeah. But no, nothing else really standing out for me. Yeah.
Oh well, that's good timing anyway. We're about the hour mark again, so we've gone through adventure now and some of our favourites from there.
We'll do the
Next
tier
week.
list.
Yeah, we'll do some tier lists. We need to get onto that. I forget. You need to remind me.
You need to write it down. You're the boss. I'm the guest.
Fucking co-host, guest. Remind me.
Co-host.
Dickhead.
Yeah,
fucking remind me because I'll forget. Next week we'll tier some. That's my tiers. And I'm going to put Mandalorian in the A tier.
Oh, yeah. You are having an absolute giraffe. Yeah.
It's not quite an S, but it's an A.
It's not an A.
Mandalorian's good.
It started as an A. That first episode was an A. It drifted off quickly after that.
Yeah. All right. Okay. But hold that thought. We'll come back. We'll tier them. I'll make a list of the ones that we've done. The action ones that we went through last week. I tell you what. No. This is a good idea. I don't often have them, but this is a good idea. So we'll run through all the genres. We'll run through like 5 or 6 different genres. And then I'll make a note of all the ones from there. And then we'll do an episode at the end of that, following all of those, where we tier those movies.
Right.
And then we'll rank them there. Because I keep forgetting to do it during. But we can go, right, these are all the action ones that we spoke about. How would we tier them? And then we can put it up. I can share the screen, blah, 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 blah. See? Good idea. Plan. Right, thanks for listening. Remember to like and follow and all that jazz and all the good stuff. It's great for us. Comment, tell us what you like, what you didn't like. If you think we're talking nonsense, if you think we're onto something that makes sense, if there's anything that you want to see, or if we've highlighted any memories or any kind of movies that you've forgotten about over the years, let us know. We'll be back next week with comedy. I think there's comedy next. I think comedy's the next one. Yeah, we'll do comedy next. But thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.